My son's hand is shaking as he slides the pen across the table. Not from nervousness, from excitement. $2 million. That's what the papers say. That's what the developer is offering for my hardware store. For 47 years of my life. For the business I built with my bare hands while raising him alone after his mother died. Just sign here, Dad, James says. He's smiling. That eager, too bright smile that makes my stomach turn. I've already put a deposit on a condo in Florida. Found you a great retirement community. You're gonna love it. I'm 73 years old. I still do inventory in my head. I know every customer by name. I've never missed a day of work in 47 years. And my son is talking about me like I'm a piece of furniture he's donating. I look down at the signature line. Castellano and Son, LLC, my name. His name. Together. Then I look at the contract's date, and I start doing math in my head. 8 months. These negotiations have been ongoing for 8 months. My son has been planning to sell my life out from under me for 8 months, and he never said a word. I pick up the pen. James leans forward. His eyes are locked on my hand. And that's when I remember something he forgot. Something important. Something that's about to change everything. If you want to know what happened next, if you're going to hear how I destroyed my son's plan and rebuilt my entire life in 30 days, hit that subscribe button right now. Because what happens in the next 60 seconds will shock you. The bell over the door stops ringing. I lock it from the inside. Counter light on, ledger open. I lay 3 months of statements flat and start marking. Blue for inventory, green for utilities, red for anything that smells like Florida. Red multiplies. A wire labeled Good Faith Horizon Dev. Never touched the business account. It detoured into a personal checking number I don't recognize, then out again to a title company on the coast. I print the trail, staple timestamps, and write 2 words at the top, not business. I pull the 1998 operating agreement and a magnifier from the drawer I kept for customers who forgot their glasses. Section 4.2. Majority approval required for sale of substantially all assets. Section 6.1. Fiduciary duty to the company. I underline both until the paper grooves. There's a receipt in the till for a lawyer I've never hired. I circle that too. My phone buzzes. Bank alert. External ACH pending. I freeze the business account with a 3-minute call and a password I set. The week James turned 16, Maple 1977. Attorney's office on speaker. I read the clauses. He finishes the sentences. You have a controlling interest and evidence of diversion, he says. You can refuse consent and proceed with a buyout. Printer chatters in my ear as he drafts. Notice of non-consent to propose sale and intent to purchase minority membership interest at fair market value. He asks for my valuation number. I give him the last clean appraisal, back out aging inventory, then add the goodwill that didn't come from James. We land on a figure that's precise, boring, and bulletproof. I call James. He answers like he's busy saving me. Bring the keys, I say. We're talking as partners, not as father and son. Silence. A car blinker ticks through the line. I'm tied up, he says. We can do this after I sign. You don't sign, I say. You don't have the authority to sell, and the company doesn't consent. He exhales a laugh he thinks sounds mature. Dad, you're making this messy. No, I say, watching the attorney's PDF hit my inbox. I'm making it accurate. I forward the non-consent to the developer's rep, CC the lender listed on their glossy brochure, and BCC my attorney. Then I print the buyout notice, staple the valuation summary, and set the packet on the counter under the bell, face up, waiting. I take the brass tag off the key hook that reads, and son, put it in a small envelope and write, for James, accounting. Not sentimental, just filed correctly. Lights hum, street traffic slows. I pour coffee and let the steam blur the glass where my name used to share space. The line is drawn, on paper, in ink, with penalties attached. When a son gambles on your confusion, do you correct him gently or do you correct him formally? Folding chairs, stale coffee, poster boards with revitalization stenciled in cheerful blue. James gets the first slot, button down crisp, sleeves rolled to signal work. He calls our block underutilized, calls my storefront legacy charm, calls demolition phase one of opportunity. He doesn't look at me, he looks at the lens. A hand goes up. Where's your father in this? James smiles into the mic. Dad's 73, we're taking care of him. Laughter ripples. It's not loud, just enough to nick the skin. I stand when public comment opens. I carry the operating agreement, bank printouts, and a rubber-banded stack of paid invoices with serial numbers that predate his first mustache. I give my name and the year we opened, 1977, and set the agreement on the lectern where everyone can see 70% burn under fluorescent light. Sir, 2 minutes, the moderator says, already checking the clock. I speak clearly. The company has not consented to any sale of substantially all assets. Majority approval is required. That's not a feeling. That's section 4.2. I try to hand the moderator copies. She raises both palms like I offered her a hot pan. James slowly shakes his head, rueful for the cameras. There he goes again. The developer's rep leans back, relaxed, as if this were background music. I continue. Funds labeled Good Faith, Horizon Dev, were diverted to a personal account. That is not company revenue. The moderator leans toward the mic. Sir, time? I have evidence of time. She taps the tent card like a gavel. My mic drops to half volume. I'm still speaking, but the room hears only the quiet confidence of James, who steps forward with an easy grin and a practiced chuckle. Folks, my father's passionate, he says, hand angled in my direction as if calming a friendly dog. He gets details mixed up. We'll make sure he's comfortable. The crowd exhales a soft "oh," pity disguised as civility. The developer's rep nods sympathetically at me without looking away. I don't argue. I stack the papers again, square them until the edges match, and slide the top copy of the operating agreement into the public materials bin by the exit. I look at the camera in the back and hold it for 1 beat longer than comfort allows, the way you do when you want the frame to remember which face didn't flinch. As the session breaks, a junior planner whispers, "Sorry about the mic." I smile like a man who labels screws by size and only speaks when the label is correct. I pocket the insult, the smirk, the word comfortable. I also pocket the clause that ends this cleanly, with a timestamp and a signature that isn't his. When they cut your mic and pat your head, do you raise your voice or do you raise your paper? I set the file box on my attorney's desk and start feeding it the arteries. Bank statements, ledger extracts, copies of every vendor check with stubs. He doesn't waste sentences. Chronology first. We build it like shelving, left to right, clean joints. T8 months, first coffee with the developer. Calendar screenshot, James's text bragging about vision. T3 months, good faith, Horizon Dev. Wire skipping the business account, routing trail printed and highlighted. T1 week, condo deposit to a Florida title company. Beneficiary, not the LLC. Today, our non-consent email to the developer, lender CC'd. Read receipts verified. He drafts while I verify. Letter of non-consent finalized with my 70% signature and the LLC seal. Spoliation notice. Preserve all communications re-proposed sale. Demand for accounting from James. 30 days, sworn. Intent to purchase minority membership interest. Price formula per operating agreement. Fair market value. No control premium owed. We lock the number. I read it aloud once. $350,000. Not a gift. Not punishment. The math he inherited but never learned. The account freeze goes formal. Bank manager on the line. Fraud department looped in. Note added. Diversion of company funds under review. Dual signature hold on extraordinary disbursements. We pull a UCC search on the parcel. Clean. He can promise air. He can't pledge my land. The printer spits like a nail gun. Non-consent. 3. Intent to purchase. 3. Demand. 2. Spoliation. 2. I sign with a hand that's steadier than his sales pitch. A notary witnesses and stamps the raised seal. We slide the stacks into Tyvek envelopes, certified, return receipt, one to James, one to the developer, one to the lender. The courier arrives. I hand him the bag and the timeline taped on top. Deliver in this order. He nods once and is gone before the bell finishes ringing. Back at the shop, I open the safe, pull the envelope marked in Son, brass tag, and set it beside the register. I climb the short ladder, loosen 2 screws, and lift the in Son placard free. The glass looks bigger without it. I hang a plain key on the hook, Lab A, DK, and log the change in the maintenance book like any other repair. Removed obsolete label, reinstated accurate control. On the counter, I arrange 3 neat piles for anyone who wants to pretend the rules are fuzzy. 1. Operating agreement with sections 4.2 and 6.1 tabbed. 2. Wire trail with bank officer's declaration attached. 3. Buyout packet with exact figure and payment terms. I lock the door, flip the sign to close for inventory, and kill the front lights. The aisle numbers glow just enough to work by. I sort number 6, number 8, number 10 into their bins until the sound in my head slows back to normal. This isn't vengeance, it's reconciling accounts. When the math finishes and the paper is signed, do you argue feelings, or do you let receipts do the talking? He shows up 21 minutes late, sunglasses on indoors, like the light owes him something. I've set the counter like a workbench, 3 stacks, 3 pens, 1 clock. I don't offer a chair. Standard paperwork, I say. As per the operating agreement you didn't reread. He smirks at the first page, intent to purchase minority membership interest, and tries the old shoulder drop. Dad, we can fix this together if you just… We are fixing it, I say. Read the figure. He finds the number, $350,000. He expects insult. Instead, he finds math. His jaw works once. That's low. It's exact, I say. I slide over the valuation schedule, line items tabbed. Inventory aged, goodwill not credited to you, no control premium. You want more, you bring receipts different than mine. The bank officer calls on the dot. I put it on speaker. Mr. Castellano, we're on for immediate settlement when both signatures hit. Funds are ready. James signs the first 2 lines quickly, slows at the acknowledgement of non-consent on the proposed sale. This is unnecessary. It's archival, I say. He signs. The clock ticks. I sign each counterpart, my hand firm, my name the same size it's been since 1977. The bank pings, wire out, $350,000. Cleared. He waits for me to wobble, to soften, to turn this into a kitchen table conversation about forgiveness. I turn to the membership ledger instead, cross out his name with a single line, and write redeemed in the margin. I initial and date. Keys, I say. He blinks. What? Keys you never returned, I say, and flip the key log to his column, blank. Right. So we'll do it this way. I slide a small Tyvek envelope across the counter, and Son, brass tag inside, already sealed. For your records. You're really doing this, he says, like the idea is a stranger just walked in. I'm finishing what you started, I say. He does the tour with his eyes, looking for any corner that will argue with me. The shop gives him nothing back. I reach under the counter and pull out a wrapped canvas, brown paper, painter's tape at the edges. He watches like he thinks it's a peace offering. I set it on the stool, peel the tape slowly so the room hears it. Paper slides. Gold leaf catches in the fluorescence. Castellano hardware. No ampersand. No heirloom he didn't earn. Silence lands hard. The bell above the door ticks once in the heat. He tries humor. You're serious. Serious is when the register and the sign match, I say. He fishes for pity. Mom wrote the 1998 clauses you didn't read, I say, and point at the ledger. Her handwriting, not mine. He exhales through his nose and goes for exit lines. You'll regret cutting me out. I didn't cut you out, I say. I paid you out. There's a difference. He looks at the counter one last time, like he might take something that isn't paper. I turn the ledger so the spine faces him, closed. He leaves without the keys he never carried. The bell rings, the glass settles. I unhook the old and Son placard from beneath the counter, lay it flat and log the change in the maintenance book. Signage. Retired obsolete element. Installed corrected mark. Then I climb the short ladder and hang the new face above the door. The screws bite cleanly. I check the level by eye. It's perfect. On the back wall, I hang a plain key on the hook and label it in my hand, block letters, Lab A, DK. I'm not hiding the lab in the back anymore. The work stays here. Phone buzzes. Developer rep calling. I let it die. Then a text from a number labeled Lender Counsel. Received non-consent and buyout confirmation. Note filed. Good. Paper speaks louder than any microphone they'll hand me. I flip the front sign to open, not because I need the business this minute, but because I want the street to see the name that's staying. When the wire clears and the nameplate changes, do you negotiate your worth, or do you set it in metal and move on? She parks half on the gravel, half on the paint, like someone who doesn't plan to stay still. Portland Renovation Co. is ghosted on the pickup door under a film of road salt. Her hug is quick, bone and truth, nothing ornamental. Dad, we keep the smell of cut pine, she says, already walking the aisles. We lose dead space and add contractor supply, green materials, tool rental, today. Clipboard out. We move like we used to stock Christmas lights. Aisle by aisle, no wasted motion. She remaps the floor with tape and a Sharpie. A1, A4, framing connectors, code-rated hurricane ties, Simpson sets by size. B1, low VOC sealants, recycled content insulation, FSC plywood, NCAP, QR placards to datasheets, and 2024 energy code references. Back wall, tool rental bay, laser levels, rotary hammers, heap of vacs, deposit chart posted at eye level. I pull the rolling ladder, she drops chalk lines. We yank the dusty patio display that sold 3 chairs last year and replace it with a 2-shelf unit for pro packs of Tapcons and bulk GRK screws. I hear the store answer, faster footpaths, tighter turns, inventory that wants to leave with someone who builds for a living, phone on speaker. She burns through suppliers I've never met, and 3 I haven't called in 10 years. Trade pricing, 30-day terms, on-site delivery, Tuesdays and Fridays. Yes, we own the lot. No, we're not moving. She gets pallets of green board, 5 and 8, fire-rated, and 2 mixed skids of mineral wool. She schedules a job site demo for next week and books their rep to teach proper anchor spec. We'll feed crews while they learn. As they eat, they become customers. Coffee is finally hot. I added a fresh code chart to the post by the saw. She thumbs the chart and nods once. We also stop losing money at the counter. We audit the POS like a crime scene. She retags the top 60 sellers with barcodes that actually ring the right price, adds a contractor pricing tier, and sets bulk breaks that don't wait for someone to ask. She kills 3 SKUs that had only ever gathered dust and replaces them with 2 sizes everybody had begged for, while James tells them to order online. I pull the special orders ledger. She creates a same-day pickup ticket system with a bright red stamp, hold shelf, paid. In the back, she opens the side door that swells in humid months, shims the hinge with a washer from her pocket, and reads the OSHA signage while her driver unloads two rolling job boxes of rental tools. We print rental agreements, clear terms, deposit chart, late fee line like a tripwire. I mount a camera over the bay, not because I don't trust customers, but because I trust paperwork more. We build a code binder together, tabs for structural, electrical, energy, and inspector notes. She slides in a laminated nail schedule so no one loses 5 minutes arguing about ring shank versus screw shank on exterior sheathing. She hangs a magnet board labeled, "What failed inspection this week?" If a customer pins a fail note, the next one gets the heads up before they waste a day. At lunch, she pries up the floor mat by the register, cleans under it with the same focus she used to study for exams, and then looks at the front glass. "Sign stays," she says. "Font stays." But we tell the truth about who's here. I pull a manila folder and slide out a stencil. We tape it over the gold leaf, square to the trim. She peels the backing and presses the letters until they grip. When she lifts her palms, the window reads Castellano and Daughter Hardware, not painted yet. A promise first. We test the rental bay with our own tools, scan in, scan out, receipt printing, and deposit logs. No squeaks. The shop hum settles 2 notes lower, the way a new bearing turns after a proper grease. Evening finds us at the counter, writing tomorrow on a yellow pad the way I like, then duplicating it into her spreadsheet the way she insists. Contractors text her truck directly, "Do you carry mineral wool?" "Yes." "Can you order 134 drive pins?" Already on the list. She flips her key ring. I hand her a brass tag stamped front. Lisa. She hangs it beside Labia, DK, both tags at the same level. We don't talk about James. We don't need to. The floor plan is our conversation. The work is our answer. When the ally you prayed for walks in with tape, terms, and a plan, do you ask her to wait, or do you hand her the aisle map and move? By 7 a.m., the contractor tier wakes the block. Diesels idle, tailgates drop, invoices print. The phone stops ringing and starts ringing. 2 framers want mineral wool by noon. A mason wants tapcons by the bucket. Lisa runs the rental bay like a flight line, laser level out, HEPA vac back, deposits logged with the red hold shelf, paid stamp. The parking lot fills and stays full. A camera across the street gives up counting and records motion. Mid-morning, I get what I was waiting for, a junior lender email. Parcel assemblage status? I call it a title instead. Pull the track map and current deeds, I say. 10 minutes later, the PDF hits. The developer's beautiful diagram requires every parcel to be in one chain. Mine sits dead center like a wedge in a hinge. I draft a simple, ugly thing. Owner's notice of non-consent and no easement. No license to stage, no laydown yard, no crane swing, no trenching, no temporary power, no access over or under. I attach the operating agreement, my 100% ledger page, and the filed buyout confirmation. Lisa walks it to the county recorder between deliveries. By lunch, the index shows it live. Paper turns into rebar. Suppliers call one after another. The ones who ignored James lean back in. "Heard you're staying," they say. "We'll extend better terms if you're the stop for crews." I don't bargain. I set Tuesday-Friday drops and insist on a pallet mix that moves. Reps volunteer job site demos. We pencil too. Each demo is a line of trucks that won't be pouring into a sales meeting across the street. The zoning board posts an update to agenda for next week. I print it and tape it near the register at eye level, where contractors read while they sign. "Are we showing up?" a foreman asks. "We're working," I say. But if you have 5 minutes, grab a copy. He takes 3. The developer's rep tries soft. Can we at least put a temporary fence across your rear alley while we coordinate utilities? No, I say. No access, no easement, no license. Put it in your file. He pivots to a threat masquerading as a schedule. You'll slow the district. I'll run a store, I say, and end the call. I ordered 4 bollards for the rear apron and scheduled the installation. Not to pick a fight, to make permissions physical. I post no trespass, private yard signs with our parcel number beneath. I added a delivery plan map by the back door, so every driver knows where they're allowed to turn and where they're not. By late afternoon, the lender counsel replies, polite, clinical, noted, non-consent recorded, assemblage incomplete, absent subject parcel. That sentence is a quiet wrecking ball. I slide the printout under wire trail and operating agreement on the counter. 3 neat proofs that don't raise their voice. James starts the slow drive-bys, window down, radio off, face set to neutral. He watches the sign. He watches Lisa hand a contractor a receipt. He watches 6 pallets land on our apron, not in their staging lot. He watches the wedge stay in the hinge. I stand under the new stencil and daughter and sweep the entry mat like it's any other day, because it is. Work has a way of drowning out noise. Paper has a way of turning noise into minutes. When the other side needs your ground to move, do you meet them at the fence or do you pour footings where you stand? Same gymnasium, same folding chairs, same revitalization boards, same moderator who cut my mic. I sign in, write my name clearly, and take a seat in the front row with a banker's box on my lap like it's nothing but paper, because it is. James goes first again, voice warm, hands soft. The developer's rep stands beside him, jacket unbuttoned, smile set to inevitable. They talk activation, foot traffic, tax base. The slides show skylines from cities we don't live in. Public comment. I don't rush. I carry the box to the lectern and set out the stacks the way I set out washers by size. I clip a mic to my collar myself and test it once. Check. It carries to the back wall. Name is Sal Castellano, owner of Castellano and Daughter Hardware, parcel 12044406. For the record, I own 70%, now 100. I fan 5 document piles across the lectern, labels facing the audience. 1. Operating agreement, tabs on section 4.2, majority approval, and 6.1, fiduciary duty. 2. Bank records, the good faith, Horizon Dev. Wire skipping the company account, bank officer letter attesting diversion. 3. Buyout confirmation, wire receipt, membership ledger page marked redeemed. My ownership is now 100%. 4. Recorded non-consent and no easement, file numbers and timestamps, no access over, under, or across. 5. Lender letter, assemblage incomplete, absent subject parcel. I hand copies to the moderator, to the clerk, and then I do what no one expects. I walk the first row and lay sets in contractors' laps, the men and women who actually pour, frame, wire, and pass inspection. Paper moves like a current. The moderator leans toward her mic, careful this time. Mr. Castellano, you have 3 minutes. I'll need 2. I hold page 1 up so the camera can see the highlighted 4.2. This project required my consent. It never had it. This letter, I lift the lender's line, states clearly they cannot close without my parcel. A ripple starts in the back. Reporters stop pretending they're just citizens. Phones rise. I turn a page. Funds labeled as good faith were routed to a personal account not owned by the LLC. I don't look at James. I don't have to. The projector hums. The room breathes. I continue, steady. On this date, I tap the buyout confirmation. The minority interest was purchased at fair market value as per the agreement. The seller, I let that hang, no longer speaks for the company or the parcel. I place the last page on the lectern and square the corners. Therefore, there is no project here. Not until you redraw your diagrams without my ground. Silence at first. Then it breaks. Murmurs. Camera shutters. The low sound a crowd makes when a story flips. The developer's rep turns hard to James, whispers with his jaw, not his mouth. James glances at the ceiling lights and blinks, as if they've gotten brighter. The moderator nods. On mic. Thank you, Mr. Castellano. The record will reflect your ownership and filings. She pivots to the dais. Counsel for the applicant, please update your application in light of these documents. The rep tries to recover. We request a recess. Granted, the moderator says, 15 minutes. It won't help them. Time never saves you from missing ground. As I step away, I place one extra copy on the public materials table, top sheet facing up, sections 4.2 and 6.1 glowing under gym lights. I don't look at James. I look at the lens again, same lens that watched them pat my head last week, and I give it the nod I didn't give then. Contractors clap, just their palms once or twice. Not a show, a signal. The junior planner who apologized for the mic last time brings me a cup of water without a word. Paper sits where it needs to sit. The room now knows the difference between volume and validity. When the room finally hears you, do you savor the noise? Or do you let the record do the talking and walk back to work? Bell taps once. James stops in the doorway, as if the threshold is higher than it used to be. His voice is small. I made a mistake. I haven't looked up yet. I sort number 6 nor 8, mash 10 screws into their bins, heads aligned, labels forward, because order calms the room. You made a choice, I say. The bin lids click shut in a row. He takes a step, sees the stencil still taped to the glass. Castellano and Daughter Hardware. The tape tabs curl a little where Lisa pressed them flat. He swallows. Is there anything? I point my pencil at the floor plan, not his face. There's always work, but not a shortcut. He waits for sentiment. I give him the policy. I pull the shop manual and open it to a blank addendum page. If you want in, you start where you should have started. Receiving, 6 a.m., 12 weeks. No keys, no cash drawer, no phone orders. You learn the rental log, the hold shelf, and why tapcons don't mix with lag shields. I slide a form across. You clock in, you clock out, you sweep bays, and when a vendor short ships, you count twice before you call. He blinks. 12 weeks? Dad, Mr. Castellano, I correct, because on paper, he's not family here. After 12, Lisa signs or she doesn't, not me. I nod toward the back. She's there, capping tubes of low VOC adhesive, listening without looking. He tries nostalgia. You taught me to read an invoice. I did, I say. And you taught me to write things down when someone ignores one. I tap the ledger, the same one that survived 3 recessions and 1 flood. You want a future here? You'll earn a line in this book that isn't an asterisk. He tries a softer angle. What about the money? I can bring customers. Money already changed hands, I say. $350,000 cleared. That page is closed. I turn the membership ledger toward him and point to the word redeemed next to his name. What you can bring is a dolly, 2 good gloves, and a willingness to be corrected without a speech. He looks at Lisa. She brushes past with a bundle of code charts and gives him one nod, civil, not warm. If you're here at 6, she says, wear boots. We're unloading mineral wool and no one fakes a back. He glances at the new key tags on the hook, Lab A, DK, and front, Lisa, no empty slot with his name. The truth is not loud. It's sorted and labeled. He tries one last door. Can I at least keep a key for emergencies? I point to the policy card taped under the hook. Key control, no exceptions. I don't repeat it. He exhales, nods once, and steps backward through the door he didn't hold open for anyone else. The bell taps again. Quiet returns like a level finding center. I write a new line in the shop manual. Re-entry protocol. Former members start at receiving. Supervisor Lisa. Review at week 12. Decision by performance only. No anger in the ink. Just boundary. Lisa sets the code charts on the counter, eyes the bins. She-8s look good, she says. They always did, I say. We both smile, small and even. Vo. Blood is a fact. Loyalty is earned. We don't ban family. We price their choices and make them pay for it in work. When a fallen heir asks for a shortcut back, do you forgive with a key or with a schedule and a 6 a.m. dock? Dusk settles on Maple like a thin coat of varnish. Streetlights come on in sequence, and the gold leaf catches each one, letter by letter, Castellano and Daughter Hardware. Inside, we run the close the way we run everything now. Quiet, exact, no speeches. I count the till aloud, 20s, 10s, 5s, while Lisa scans the rental bay back in, laser level, returned. Heap-a-vac, bag replaced. 2 SDS hammers, clean, bit sleeves oiled. The printer ticks out deposit return slips. She stacks them by pickup time. I initial each without breaking the rhythm of the count. Money is numbers. Trust is timestamps. We pencil tomorrow's orders on the pad. I won't give up. Mineral wool. Tap cons by the bucket. 2 cases of low VOC adhesive, and she mirrors it into the sheet. She won't give up. Color coding lead times and back orders. On the wall, the inspector's magnet board shows 3 notes under Avoid These Fails and a fresh green magnet under Solved. The room hums the low note of a place that knows what it's for. I hang 2 keys on the hook, so no one has to ask who carries what. Lay B, A, DK beside front, Lisa. Tags level. Hooks even. The slight sound they make when the brass settles is the old song of this shop. Steam lifts from our mugs. Pine dust and the good coffee meet halfway in the light from the back room. I flip the ledger shut and lay the pencil across it like a latch. Through the front glass, the new sign holds steady against the night. I think of the first day I painted my name there and how long it took to earn the right to keep it. I think of today and how we added a name not with sentiment, but with work. Lisa thumbs through the code binder and leaves it open to next week's demo. Proper anchor spec, free donuts, bring your foreman. She taps the corner. We'll need more number 10s, she says. I nod. It's a small sentence, and it means the future. I kill aisle lights 2 at a time, letting the shop answer back in softer tones. The tool rental rack locks. Barcodes face out like they're standing inspection. We slide the security gate along its track. It closes with the clean click I shimmed this morning. Outside, a contractor slows long enough to read the sign and give a small 2-finger wave from the wheel. Not a cheer, a confirmation. I built this for family, the kind that shows up, for work that outlasts the sale, the speech, and the shortcut. If you stand for honest builders over easy money, subscribe and share this. Help genuine caretakers get seen, so the next shop like ours keeps its ground and its name. I turn the deadbolt. The door answers with that soft, finish click. We stand a second longer than we need to, watching the letters hold in the glass. Then we go home. When the day ends level and the name holds in gold, will you pass by? Or will you stand with the shops that do the work and subscribe?